How's it going, folks? Welcome back to round 2 of our draft video here today. We look at our opening hand with our Ruby Sapphire Charges deck. It seems a little medium. It got a little bit heavy on the resources, but we hit both of our thresholds. We've got quality 2-drops and a piece of removal, so I think it's fine to keep. Perfect. We drew a powerful 3 to follow up our 2s. The question becomes, do I want to play Iotachi Cavalry on 2, or do I want to play Web Scribe? It's probably going to depend on what my opponent's turn 2 play is here. If they don't have a play, the Cavalry's probably right. Web Scribe. Yeah, it's probably still right to lead on the Cavalry. Then, like, turn 3, we can go Web Scribe into Shard to take the power off of that. Oh! Oh, crap. Huh. Well, I missequenced my resources here. I needed to play the Sapphire Threshold out first so I could play Web Scribe and then play my Shard next turn. Now I guess we're just going to go Sapphire into Ashwood Transmuter and offer a trade here. Hopefully they don't play something bigger and scarier that we need to take power off of. Alarm-O-Matic. Yep. And Valoring that actually just means we're going to feed the flames it anyways. We wouldn't be able to attack into it even with the Web Scribe here, so... Oh. Huh. Deal. So they think they're the more aggressive deck in the matchup, so that's good for us. We got another resource here, which isn't the worst since we have this Transmuter here at hand, so I'm just going to play this out here and then ship for 2 with the auto pass value there. If our opponent goes to kill this, we're 10 out of 10, binning a resource in response. Extra Ruby Shard can go away, that's for sure. Next turn we can have Web Scribe into Shard to give something -2 power and feed the flames. This is going to turn into something, probably a 5-4-2. Sure. I don't want to trade here. I feel like maybe they are actually. Huh. No. Alright. Well, you should never activate the Transmuter at the end step if it's not going to die, so... Huh. I think I'm going to lead on the Transmuter activation just to get a feel for what all the tools we have that we're working with. Staggering Blast deals 1 damage to each opposing troop without flight. Damage troops get this, can't block this turn. That's pretty powerful. That just, like, guarantees us an Alpha Strike here at some point. This is also a basic action, so we can't play it at quick speed. And what do I want to do here? I think I'm going to Web Scribe and then play a resource and give this 1 power so I can't eat my 2-2. And then ship with both of these and play this Iotachi Brute post-combat. Oh, you know what? I should have played the Sapphire resource out there, and this is really minor because if I draw another Ashwood Transmuter, I would like to be able to have a resource to discard to it, and I have a couple of double Sapphire cards in my deck, so I want to play out this Sapphire Threshold. So he probably trades here. He could, like, trade here and then bounce here. Take no damage. Seems reasonable, and then they get a piece of Scrounge Fodder. Didn't bounce because we left our resources open. Perfect. Play the Iotachi Brute. Give this another -power. So they are getting close to their champion activation here, right? Like, if they have Shard plus, like, the Scrounge make 3 Dreadlings, they could potentially have 5 Dreadlings off the Wicked Web spawn here. And then tap this and attack for a bunch. Smokeclaw Raker. This is another thing that punishes us having played out that Ruby Shard as opposed to the Sapphire, because now we're going to have to discard the Sapphire to the Smokeclaw Raker. Yep. Feels really bad. This card is super powerful. Ashwood Minstrel. Huh. I don't know which of these two I want to feed the flames here. I think it's just the 5-2. This is kind of scary, but it's just... I'll go ahead and give that -2 power. And crack with the squad. We get in for 5 here. Opponent's still got 3 cards left in their hand. We have a champion activation, but that's not too terribly exciting. The best card in our deck we can't actually play because I sequenced my resources wrong. That's the Typhoon Skyshaper, so... Not in a great spot here if their leftovers are good. Depends on the context of their hand. I'd have been in a medium spot regardless, because like our leftovers weren't stellar, but having no leftovers is definitely worse than having poor leftovers. We're marginally ahead on board right now, but they can have some explosive pumps here. Feed the flames my 4-3, yep. So it takes away my only troop that can attack. Into a Firebrand, yep. This card's very, very good. 2-1, it creates a Valor. Yep. Good enough to play the Ardent Troop in the Theros deck, apparently. Righteous Outlaw. Yep, that's a fantastic draw, right? Like, it lets me take the power off of this, and then I can champ power this Righteous Outlaw to push it through. Hi, D. And the next turn, I can diligence this into the Scarlet Swordsman and ship, do 2 here and kill this, and then ship the rest of my board in here. They can eat this, but then they'll take 4, so they'd go to 6, and I'd trade these basically. Be like trading these for 6 points of damage. Basically, like trade these and deal 6. Like that seems like a plenty fine payoff for us. Want that? You want these? It's a Newton kind of morning, internet. Hold the Newton yourself, Brett. You got hands. Let's see what they got here. They might attack with this. Yep. I probably should have put the minus power on that, actually. Rather than this, because this is the one I could kill. Arachnoglider, sure. I think I just... Oh, I'm just going to make a Valor because then this becomes unblockable, right? Yeah, that seems way better. Arena Regular, sign me up. So this is lethal in a few turns here. They have a Strangle. That would be bad for us. I guess if they had a Strangle, they probably would have killed the Righteous Outlaw, right? Oh. Yeah, that is how that works, isn't it? That's fine. I am just so used to that being actually unblockable that I didn't understand. I was like, wait, what's happening? And here, maybe I should give the minus power to the Arachnogliders because I kind of want him to attack with that. This could be only blocked by their Valorous troops, and they had 2 Valorous troops, in fact. That's still worth it, I think, because, like, the 3-3 was brickwalling our squad, but it still doesn't feel good, right? It seems like their leftovers are not stellar here. Oh. Spoke too soon. Needed a 3rd troop in their crypt. They had the Shadowblade Slicer that whole time. Yep. So long, Righteous Outlaw, my old friend. And it kind of sucks that, like, the best card we're hoping to draw is going to go right back to that sequencing mistake I had in the 3rd turn of the game, where, like, I played, or the 4th turn where I didn't play the 2nd Sapphire, because, like, we draw Typhoon Skyshaper, we just can't play it. That being said, Furious Blitzer sounds fantastic. Gonna go ahead and put him... Give this minus power, I guess. They can trade their Slicer for my Furious Blitzer if they want, but I think I'm okay with that. They can double here, and then I'll trade with the 3-3 flyer. Pretty sure they're obligated to take that trade at this point. Just like don't have enough leftovers here. I don't want them to have too much flying power in the air because they can pressure me a little bit and then finish me off with the Theros power at some point. Yep, so exactly like we said. Kill the Slicer. I think it's worth being aggressive there. Freylate, sure. So other spiders have Rage 1 now, which actually gives the Arachnoglider Rage 1. So it's going to hit us for 3 and then 4, etc., etc. Man. Another Ruby Shard. I could play this and get in for 1, like taking this trade here. Yeah, I think that's worth it. No, that doesn't even let me get in for 1, right? Yep, I guess we'll just put that there and save ourselves some health and deal a damage to them. We're looking to draw at this point. Gallant Duelist isn't terrible. Blazing Hammer's like medium minus. Really don't have a ton of things. Cloudbounder would be okay, because it'll allow us to take kind of an aggressive stance and trying to pressure their life total. Our life total is getting into danger though for sure here. Zap is a good hit on their part. Man, their deck must be pretty light on playables. They've got Zap in it. It's looking like we're just gonna be dead here. Yeah, we'll take a draw step, but I'm pretty sure we're just dead. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I really want here. Just go ahead and submit it up. A slow-ish start that we weren't quite able to leverage there. Misused my web scribe once or twice. That definitely could have cost us some percentage points. Thankfully, misplaying the ruby over the sapphire shard didn't end up biting us. Yep, hand seems fine. Arena regular round 2 sounds like a great payoff. Hopefully this hand hits a ruby threshold so we can Gallant Duelist on 4 and slam into our opponent. Hopefully we don't get cheap shotted here. That would be miserable. They don't have Ruby up. We know they have Zap in their deck. We could have gone like Minstrel into Sage, but with Arena Regular in play, these are each worth points of damage since they generate charges from Murzul. Rust Bucket. So, I think with Rust Bucket, I'm actually going to go Sage into Feed the Flames here, just so I can pressure my opponent. Sapphire Shard is actually just the worst draw in our deck. We kind of wanted another resource, but at the same time, we wanted it to be a... ruby, so we can play this Gallant Duelist next turn. So this Feed the Flames gets a 1-for-1, and it allows us to push 2 points of damage here, so I think that's a worthwhile trade. I don't know, it might be a little bit aggressive. Deraz's starting life total being so high is pretty ridiculous. His charge power, I feel like, is significantly better than Murzul's, and it costs less charges too. Yep, beep beep. So that's gonna crack us for 3 here. Come on. Can we draw a Ruby Shard, please? So we can play this Gallant Duelist and just, like, say, why are you trying to race me? This card's a tough card to race, but if we hit a Ruby here, we can definitely do it. Typhoon, Sky Shaper, you say. Oh, I'm done playing that, I guess. And then attacking for 2 here. Yep. And then we can... This will be a 4-5 next turn, but we can... Yeah, I would say we could block with this and then return it to our hand, but I actually think I'd rather leave it in play so we can be aggressive, right? like, why is this? Why is this possible? Just, like, only cost 6 charges. That's my one complaint about this current limited format is that Theros is unreasonable. It's my one very sizable complaint. I feel like they really miffed up by making Theros what he is. Just again, draw the worst card in our deck, another Sapphire Shard. So I'm hitting him for 6 down to 8. I guess I'm just champ powering here, right? And then like smashing. We're still in a position to like win this game potentially, but I don't feel good about it. It's 9 down to 5. Thankfully we were on the play, I guess, and they had a slowish start. Like if they would have had a play on turn 1 or turn 2, like you should have a lot of the time in this format, we'd have been in a lot of trouble. Did I put myself dead to removal here? This is 7, 8, 9, 10. Just the removal plus 2 more points of damage. They are dead in the sky currently. What you got? What you got? What you got? They can Shadowblade Slicer us this turn. Does leaving this back help with anything? It allows me to... Yeah, I'm just gonna take this hit. This game's getting decided in like the next turn and a half here, so let's just go to 5, I think. Lackeys, sure. Arachnoglider, yep. Had a lot of good draws there. I don't think that's one of them. That's so unfortunate. Just like Ruby Shard killed them too. Something playable. We can cast this turn. Fury Chant. Yeah, that does it, actually. Okay. Well, yeah. A little bit of fortune after a string of bad beats there. Now we gotta try and win on the draw, which is definitely gonna be much tougher. Especially if they got something like Motor Trek Driver. Beep beep. That card hits hard and fast. For all the bananas here. Well, some of the bananas. This is like for 2-0, right? It's not for the 3-0 draft win. Sand's decent. It's got turn 2 Minstrel into turn 3 Gallant Duelist. Hopefully they have a slower start again. I'm gonna save me from myself and play the Sapphire Shard on turn 1 here, so that way I can't missequence it. Wow, and now we have turn 4 Furious Blitzer, or turn 3 Furious Blitzer actually into turn 4 Gallant Duelist, so yeah. Missed play nothing again? Rats, that's pretty good. That's really good, actually. Change of plans? I feel like that's a change. I feel like that's a pump the brakes change of plans. Yeah, I'm gonna play the Iotachi Cavalry so we can try and trade with this. Every time this diligences, it gets one at random. Either it gets bigger or it copies itself, so it can get out of hand pretty quickly. Especially since we drew this Ashwood Transmuter, like we have a reasonable turn 3 play here, even if we lose our 2-drop, or even if we don't have Minstrel as our 2-drop. So 10 out of 10 blocking here. They have a trick, they have a trick. We didn't play this guy out to not block. Deal. Arachnoglider. Their deck must have been really short on playables, the fact that they're playing, like... I guess they have the Prelate to make the Arachnoglider slightly better, but, like, they also are playing, what's it called? Zap in their deck, too, which isn't a particularly impressive card. I don't have anything I really want to discard of the Transmuter right now, which kind of makes it awkward. Like, if we had one more resource, we'd be happy bidding a Shard. But, like, right now, if this dies, I'm pretty sure we're just not getting any value out of it, which kind of sucks. I guess I'm in a position where, like, bidding the Ashwood Minstrel is probably not the worst. So we'll block here and then take 4. Yeah, seems fine. Probably going to mobilize out this Furious Blitzer next turn. So here we draw. Webscribe. Webscribe actually changes my mind here, because what this allows me to do is give this minus power, which means my Ashwood Transmuter can attack. So let's give that minus power, and then I can go ahead and get this Ashwood Minstrel into play as well and shrink this. Opponent missed their 4th resource drop last turn. That's pretty good for us. I'll go ahead and crack them with the Transmuter here. This also means we can play this Explosive Interlude next turn, which will give us a Valor that we can discard to this Transmuter for value. At this point, if our opponent kills this turn, we're not going to discard anything, which again, feels kind of bad, but it is what it is. But if they're spending removal on this, then they're not going to have removal for these guys, hopefully. This card's so good, and this is another reason why Therods is great. Like, Webscribe is so powerful in these champions that generate extra charges, and, like, it's Underworld, so it generates an extra charge with this guy. Let's see what they're going to Valor up here. Probably that, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, okay, sure. Please attack me for 1. Deal. Kind of looking for a Shard here, right? Freebooter also kind of does it. I guess Freebooter is not particularly great at this current point in time, right? Like, I can't double spell this turn with it. Please leave my stuff alone, Declan Scott. I'm like 1. I can play a 4-drop or a 5-drop. I can't play a 4 and a 2. That is not for you, Porky Man. Dad's gonna evict you from your computer space. It's been a toddler eviction. So we got a lot of different choices here. I think the conservative play is actually... I don't want to trade this Transmuter for the Firebrand. And I don't want to generate... I think it's just Furious Blitzer and attack this turn. Oh, I guess I could Champ Power too? That doesn't seem terrible. Furious Blitzer gives me a charge. Yeah, actually, I'm going to Furious Blitzer off of the Ashwood Minstrel here, which gives me a charge, so I can give that minus... Yeah, I need to give that one minus power so the Furious Blitzer can attack without thinking about dying. And then I can Champ Power this so it can get in here, and then we can crunch for 8. It's possible I'm supposed to exhaust the Webscribe because I'd rather lose this one, but honestly, if we draw a resource next turn, like, I want to go Freebooter plus Gallant Duelist. We're still at a reasonably healthy 20. They haven't activated their Champ Power yet, though, so things could definitely snowball out of control fairly quickly. They are stuck on resources, though, which is kind of our saving grace so far. Yep, move a Naive Lackey. If we hit a Shard next turn, we're going to get to give 3 things, minus 2 power, and exhaust something. Sure, Webscribe can't block, you got me. Yep. He didn't really want to block anyways. Joke's on you. How aggressive are they getting is the question. They're only at 13. I would love it if they hit their Champ Power this turn for only plus 3 damage. Alright, come on. Come on, Shard. Any Shard. Any Shard. Any Shard. Any Shard. Where is my 5th resource? Ding! Alright, so we play this, which gives this minus 2. Yeah, actually, we're gonna stun the Naive Lackey so he can't use it to jump block and get, give this minus power, and then this one will give this minus power. When a Freebooter comes into play, it's gonna stun the Naive Lackey, so they don't have a chance to draw out of their screw. Let's activate this. Like Galleon Duelist out here, give that minus power. So now we get to crack in with the squad, and they can't eat any of our things either. Is it worth attacking with both of these? How much can we possibly take on the crackback? Attacking with both of these adds 1 more point of damage. These things are going to stay minus powered. So he's got 3, and if he activates his champion power, it's 4, 5, 6, 7. And then let's say he makes 3 Dreadlings. That would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I have a freebooter back as a blocker just in case. And this attack is... yeah, I think it's worth getting in 1 more point of damage to ship with both of these. Yeah. I'll be right back. My toddler knows how to work doorknobs now, and he has wandered out. That went decent for us. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a way to generate a bunch of charges next turn, but we have like 2 3/2s and a 4/4, and we've got 1 Valor in hand and a piece of removal, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Callous Carver is going to get callously carved with this explosive interlude. We'd actually like to draw a shard, right? So we could like give something Majesty Power and Valor something. Cerulean Sage. Yeah, so... if I just explosive interlude this, then they can block 1, 2, 3, and then they're taking at least 4. That seems pretty decent for us. Just everything. The minimum. What's the minimum stuff they have to block here? So they have to block... what if they block... if they eat the 2/2 and then trade here and then eat this. So if they eat the 2/2, trade here, they have to chump this and then they go to 1. They could... I'm trying to figure out how many other things have to die here. They could use this here, they could eat the 2/2, and then if they bounce here, they die. So they have to block the 4, and they have to block one of the 3s, and then they can trade with a... okay, so they can trade here, eat here, up here. So yeah, 2 other things are going to die regardless in this combat, right? For them to stay alive. That's the thing. I just want to make sure we don't die on the crackback by accident, and I'm pretty sure there's no chance of that happening because they have to lose 2 of their troops here. They get to eat my 2/2 with their 3/3, and they have to block this 4, and then that leaves this, 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 and this, which is 8 power coming across. So they have to block one of the 3s, and they go to 1 over here. Okay, so blocks happen exactly like we predicted they would happen, and again, they get left with just 1 guy here. 1 Trooperino, if you would. Alright, what you got? Need 2 blockers, or removal plus the blocker. I guess 1 Shadow Blade Slicer means they're not dead on board. See what they target here. Probably targeting this, which means I'm going to bin one of these Valors. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and bin... am I binning a Valor? The Valors are actually pretty good, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to bin the Cerulean Sage for a random. Surly Brawler, yep. Upgraded a 2/3 flyer to a 4/4. That must attack. Let's go ahead and play this, and now they're obligated to block all of my troops because they're all lethal. So let's Valor. Yeah, I'm just gonna Valor both of these because then they can't trade with anything. So they can go bounce, bounce, and then jump there. And we get to play this early brawler post combat as a 4/4. Feel like we're ahead on board, but it's actually kind of close, right? They just like need to make sure they don't die by mistake. They have to keep putting out enough blockers every single turn now for the rest of the game. Do they have fodder? They have enough fodder for another Shadowblade Slicer, actually, but that actually doesn't kill any of my things, right? Sweet. Because we conveniently put them all to 4 defense. Alright, got the 2-0. Let's see if we can finish this off for a 3-0. Thanks for watching, folks.